Hey my glam girls, and welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. I'm a beauty enthusiast that loves to talk about everything dealing with beauty and makeup, and today, you guys, we got us a foundation ranking. So I am ranking all of the foundations that I tried in January, and I have a nice little, I bought a lot of foundations in January. I'm just gonna, I bought a lot. So I will be talking about all of those and sharing with you my thoughts, why I'm ranking them as such, and who I think the foundations are best suited for. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it, and let's get right into this video. So first I want to start off with a foundation that I did take back to the store. I'm going to put up a picture. So the Clé de Peau Natural Radiant Foundation. I originally purchased this, and when I got home, I realized that I had picked up I was given the Natural Radiant Matte version. I tried it because I was like, maybe I'll like it. And it was just okay. Like, it was nice, but nothing that I felt like, nothing that made me want to keep it. And originally I wanted the Natural Radiant, so I took it back, got the Natural Radiant, and you guys, I don't know what it was between when I tried the foundation on in store and when I got home, but I tried it on at home a few times, and every time I wore that foundation, I hated the way it looked on my skin. Then my skin started to break out, and I was like, is it because of the foundation? Because usually that doesn't happen. So I did take that back to the store. I was like, if I can't make it work and I feel like it's breaking me out, that $130 does not need to stay in the bottle on my shelf. So that one is coming in at number 9. That one was returned. I don't know why it didn't work for me, but it didn't. So coming in at number 8, we have the Cali Ray. This is the Free Dreaming Skin Wellness Diffusing Tint. And for the most part, all of these foundations, yes, all of these foundations I have featured in a video except for one. So I will link all of those videos so you can see the reviews, more details and things like that. But I do have this in the shade 10, and it says it's a happy medium dream. So this skin tint actually offers pretty good coverage. I would say it offers a nice solid medium coverage. I did a comparison of this skin tint with the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop skin tint because both of them had very similar claims of being more of like a very natural finish to the skin, nothing that's dewy, nothing that's overly drying either. And both and this brand is new at Sephora. It is a clean brand, so it's going to be formulated with better ingredients for the skin. And I liked this. This, I would say, definitely has a more natural to like sort of leaning toward the matte finish. So I think this would be a really good skin tint. I was gonna say concealer. I think this will be a really good skin tint for people who have oilier skin, and also one that would work well in the warmer weather and the summertime. Initially, when I put this on, I was just like, okay, but this actually started to look better as the day went on, as my oils did start to mix with it, so that by the end of the day, I think I ended up liking this one over Fenty's. This one wasn't as blurring as the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop, but it had a really nice, like, natural to satin finish at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, this one actually, I felt, looked really beautiful, and it looked more like a natural satin in terms of its finish. It wasn't as blurring as the Fenty Eavesdrop at the end of the day, but it had really good longevity, and I liked it. I think this would be a really good skin tint for people who hardly wear anything on their face. Maybe like a young teenager who's first starting out into makeup, or, not a teenager, but you're just like, I hardly put anything on my face, but I just want to add a little to the face. I think this is a really good skin tint for that. So I do like it. I will be reaching for it again. But in terms of the other foundations that I have, this definitely is airing on the lower end of the ranking. Then I picked up a foundation that's, it's not really new. It is the Chanel Le Beige. This is the Healthy Glow Foundation, Hydration, and Long Wear. I have the shade BD71, and this is the one foundation I haven't actually worn on camera, but I've been wearing it off camera, and I love this. So I bought the Chanel's Healthy Glow Foundation last year, but the difference between that one and this one is that this one is claiming to be a hydrating and a long wear formula, and the one that I bought last year just says Healthy Glow, but that one you cannot purchase it anymore. So my assumption is that they took that older formulation, reformulated, made it long wearing, added a little bit of hydration, and here we go. Because, let me go ahead and get it so you can see it. Here are the two bottles. So the one from last year you can see is frosted, and this is the newer one. And so I wonder if they just took this formula, made this one, or made this hydrating, added some more, you know, long wearing pigments or properties, and then spit out this one. But I love the way this looks on the skin. Literally just applying it on the skin and going out of the door. It is such a lightweight, light coverage type of foundation. And so I would definitely say this is a light to light medium type of foundation. The coverage is going to be more satin. But of course, if you want to set it with powder, it's not going to look as, you know, radiant, but it's got a beautiful radiance. And when I did wear it, especially there was one day where I just put it on and just went about my day. Did not set it, I didn't add anything else to my face. And it wore so beautifully. Now, it didn't have the longest lasting power, but it faded really nicely into the skin. So I love this foundation. This would be a great everyday type of wear. Or type of foundation. And like I said, if you wanted to get longer wear out of it, add a powder on top. And I think this could get you through a nice work day, a nice 8 hours. If you don't like to set your foundation, I think this would hold up to about the 5 hour mark, 5-6 hour mark, and then you're gonna see it wear away. But it does wear really nicely. And at the end of the day, I just pretty much saw my skin because I had it on for a long time. But this is beautiful, like very much beautiful. I think for sure I like it better than the older formula. So yes, I do recommend this particular foundation. I think it's great. I obviously will recommend all of these foundations. I think this is gonna be great for the person who has normal to drier skin, just because it does have a satin finish, and it's not the longest wearing type of foundation. So if you have oilier skin, your oils might just suck this up and you might feel like, you know, you're not really getting anything from it, especially because the coverage is already lighter. Okay, then we have coming in the number 6 spot, right, 987, Dior Skin Glow. So I wear the shade 4WP, yes, and this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I like to wear this foundation when I want a little bit more than just a light bit of coverage. So let's say if I'm comparing these two, I want a little more coverage than Chanel. I want a nice medium coverage. I want a long wearing formula. So this says it's long wearing. Chanel says it's long wearing. And I would, like I said, it is, but it's not 12 plus hours of wear. This one is claiming 24 hours worth of wear. Don't know if it gets you 24 hours, but this is definitely a long wearing, beautiful radiant foundation. And the undertone of this foundation is a peachy undertone, which I love. This blends very beautifully into the skin, and it just looks gorgeous. Looks gorgeous. I do recommend this, but I don't think this is going to be a favorite of just everybody's, because if you don't like a glowy foundation, you're not gonna like this one. This does have a nice satin radiance to it. Set it with powder, of course, it's still, you know, it'll take some of that away. But I just don't feel like everyone's gonna love it, especially if you don't like glowy foundations. Now there is a matte version, and I did get a sample of the matte version, and the matte version is nice. It's a nice soft matte type of finish. So if you want something like the Skin Glow, but you're like, I don't really want all the glow, try the matte version. It's not a heavy matte, a cakey matte, or a drying matte. It's a very soft matte, so really nice formula. But I like the Skin Glow better because y'all know I like glowy foundations and I like more radiant foundations. So this one is really beautiful. This one, and then the Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury I have in the number 5 spot. The Charlotte Tilbury I have in the 5 spot. It was a very close call. Like, so Dior's coming in at number 6. Charlotte's coming in at number 5, but it's almost like Dior is really at like a 5.5. And then Charlotte's at 5. Because Charlotte Tilbury, this name, Beautiful Skin Foundation, is exactly what this foundation is. It is so beautiful. When you put it on, you're just like, ooh. Oh, very good coverage, like solid medium, maybe even airing on the side to be in like a little medium full. I have the shade 10 Neutral. Love that there's a pump and that the bottle is squeezy. It makes it a little easier to travel with. This is a glass bottle and so is the Chanel. And I just love it. Like, your skin looks juicy and plump and just beautiful. However, at the end of the day, this one definitely wears. And because it has more coverage, depending on how or what you've been doing, you kind of can see some of the wear. So it doesn't look as beautiful at the end of the day as it starts out as. But it's gorgeous. So my recommendation in terms of application, don't put too much on of this. Like, whatever first layer you put on of this foundation, leave it there. Don't build, because I feel like at that point it can look a little heavy and it's not gonna look good at the end of the day. In terms of who I think this foundation is best suited for, definitely normal dry skin. But even if you have combination oily skin, I think you could enjoy this type of foundation, because setting it with your powder, you'll still get some radiance, but it's not gonna be overly dewy. Oily skin, I don't really know. If you have this and you have oily skin, let me know. I think this might be a little too radiant for you, and that you might enjoy the Airbrush Flawless foundation better, because that one is a really solid matte type of foundation. If you have both, the Airbrush Flawless foundation and this one, go ahead on and mix them together. Just go ahead on and mix them together. Yes, but that one is beautiful, coming in at number 5. Now, coming in at number 4, we have the KVD Good Apple foundation. I have the shade 10066. I am late to the game because it took me forever to get my shade. But all this, I understand the hype of why everyone loves this. Very, very full coverage. You need a smidge, like a smidge. Like, when I apply this foundation, I take my brush, dab it into the container, and then I tap the foundation or the brush on the back of my hand. Then I apply. That's all you need. It's such full coverage, but it's so creamy and it's so blurring. Like, I don't have to wear a primer, a pore filling primer with this foundation, because it just blurs everything. It's so flawless. Like, this is definitely going to be in my repertoire of, I want a full coverage beat. What do I reach for? I'm gonna consider this one, because this one is good. And in terms of it being a cream foundation, the only other cream foundation that I have that I'm like, I stand for is the AJ Crimson cream foundation. This one, oh, I might need to compare these two. AJ and this one, because they are both like, just from like what I remember of what they look like on the face, I feel like these are like almost the same. I don't know, I'd have to compare, but this is gorgeous. Oh, this is gorgeous. The only reason why it's ranking at the number 4 spot is because of the full coverage. It's not one that I would reach for every day. And yes, you can apply like a very small amount, but I just don't tend to reach for creams all the time in terms of like everyday wear. So that's why it's falling in at the number 4 spot, but it is no less amazing than the 3 above it. Coming in at number 3, because this foundation just took me by storm. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. I really honestly thought I was like, I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna have to take it back because it's just not gonna work for me. I don't know why I felt like it wasn't gonna work. But this Dior Capture Total Cell Energy Foundation, shade 4W, is that my shade? 4N. This, first of all, is a skincare hybrid formula. Skincare foundation all in one, okay? You put it on your skin and I mean, you see the filter effect immediately. Like immediately, you're blending in the foundation and you're just like, what is going on with my skin? It is the most like glowy, hydrating, moisturizing foundation that I have. And I reached for this so much in January just for like, I just want something on the skin that's really gonna perfect my skin. And I felt like every time I put this on, my skin was like, whew, thank you. Like it felt better, it looked better. I mean, it's just I can't describe it. It's one of those things that you just have to experience. You have to just put it on your face and see how your skin like transforms underneath it. Downside, there's only 12 shades. And that's, ugh. However, Gabe Loves Makeup, he was the one that recommended this one to me, and he was like, there are only 12 shades, but the shades are kind of expandable. So he always says, go in store if you can and get them to color match you, because you'll be surprised there's probably a shade for you. So I would recommend the same. If this is a foundation that you're interested in, go into, I found this at Nordstrom, go into Nordstrom or wherever you can find it and see if they can find you a color match, because when I say this is one to have, this is definitely an everyday foundation for me. Coverage is definitely going to be solid medium. Finish is very radiant, very radiant. Definitely is a foundation that does need to be set because it's so radiant, but even when you set it, you just see radiance coming through, and I am here for that. I am here for that. You might be going, well, Chels, why is that not your number one? Because I got two others that are just even better. Okay, coming in at number 2, and this I thought was going to be my number one until the number 1 came along. We got Chanel number 1 Revitalizing Foundation. I have the shade B70. Y'all. So I did a Reels comparing this. What did I compare? Ooh, I compared these two, because I was trying to figure out what is my number 1 at the time. I was like, I don't know which one's my number 1. Is it Chanel or Dior? And I was like, when I saw Dior against Chanel, I was like, oh, easy peasy. Chanel's number 1. So all the things that Dior does in terms of like hydration, moisturization, all of that, Dior does with an even more of a glow, okay? And it like blurs almost more than Dior's does. So that's what I took away. When I saw the comparison, that's what I took away. Like I got more of like a blurred effect across my pores with Chanel than I did with Dior. And that was what made me say, yeah, Chanel is gonna rank over Dior. Also, in terms of shade, Dior is going to be a little light. I can make it work. It's a little light. Like I would not be able to wear this shade in the summertime. I can wear Chanel in the summertime. There's a little more pigment to it. So in terms of shade, the shade for Chanel does match me a little better than Dior, but Chanel's is more neutral than Dior. So they're both neutral shades, but Chanel's looks a little more neutral than Dior's does. So like I said, everything that Dior's does, Chanel's does, with a more blurred effect. Very much an everyday wear type of foundation. The coverage is, I'm gonna say light medium. So we're not getting a lot of coverage. We actually get more coverage from Dior than we do Chanel. But the finish of this Chanel is just like, yeah. When I did the Reels on Instagram, everybody was like, Chanel, 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 Chanel. I was like, I know. And now for what's on my face and my number 1. Nars came and snatched all the wigs, okay? Took all my edges that are trying to grow back and said, you're not ready. And I was not ready. Okay, Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, shade Cadiz. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, don't correct me. I'll live in the wrong. This right here, of all the foundations that you've heard me talk about, is the most blurring and filtering. And I know I've used those terms with other foundations, but it is the most blurring and filtering foundation in this roundup, and potentially of all my foundations. And that's a hard claim because I got some good ones in here, okay? I got some good ones over there. This light, the way that light bounces off this foundation and just makes your face look like, I've said this before in other, about other products. The angel of light comes and sits on your face and then projects itself off. And you're like radiating with the glow behind you through your face. This is everything. This actually can go full coverage, like solid medium to full coverage, lasts an immensely long amount of time. I love the coverages. I would say Nars and Tom Ford are my favorite color matching foundations. Ooh, and Pat McGrath. I don't have the proper words in my vocabulary to describe how good this foundation is. Like, out of every foundation I talked about today, this is the one that I'm gonna say, if you even think you might wanna try it, get it. If you're looking for a new foundation, try it. If you are satisfied with your foundations and you're open to trying another one, try this one. Out of every bit of these that I've just talked about, this is the one that I'm gonna say, I'm gonna recommend to you. I'm gonna almost tell you, drop what you're doing and go and order it, but that's being a little extra. But what I am gonna say is, if you think, I think I might wanna try this one first, try it first. I'm telling you, I did a Reels comparing both of these. Not one person chose Charlotte, and a lot of you all commented on that Reels. Everybody was like, Nars, 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 Nars. And it was so evident why Nars was the winner. It is amazing. Now, Andrea Renee, she took us up a level. She said, if you have Nars Light Reflecting and you got Mama Pat, go on ahead and mix these two. And that's what you see on his face today. Oh. First of all, Pat McGrath Sublime Perfection Foundation, shade M17. I feel like when I am in the ground, okay, this is the foundation I don't want y'all to put on my face. So when she said take these two and mix them together, I was like, you ain't said but a word. I already knew before I did the mixture that this was going to be the effects. The most smoothest, flawless, bouncing of light complexion that I have seen on my face, okay? You don't have to agree, but that's okay, because I know what I see. The coverage is beautiful. The undertones of these foundations, especially with the shades that I have, are very complementary. Love them together. But the thing is, you don't need Pat to still enjoy the effects of Nars. Nars stands alone by itself. You don't have to do it. I just did it today because I was just like, let me go ahead and give this a try. Nars by itself is just perfection. It is the only foundation that I'm talking about today that is pure perfection on the skin. The formula is light, so it's a very light feeling type of foundation. And even though this has a lot of radiance to it, if you have oily skin, I think you could still enjoy it because the formulation is not an oily, greasy, overly dewy formulation. You're just getting a lot of light reflection, which gives you that radiance. But the formula is not heavy and oily and greasy. And then if you have drier skin, I think you still can enjoy it because the formula is hydrating. So you've got hydrating properties, but you're not overly dewy and greasy. And of course, with any foundation, use your primers that will help give your skin what it needs. So if you have drier skin, use hydrating primers. If you have oilier skin, use your mattifying primers, or set your face before you apply your foundation with powder so you can have the base that you want before the foundation is applied on top. And then if you're drier, go on with the hydrating setting spray, maybe no powder. If you're oilier, go on with your powder, mattifying sprays. You know, you can finagle the foundation to be what you want it to be for the most part. And this is one of those that can really be finagled to work with various skin types. I love this one. Absolutely love it. And with Mother Pat, it is pure perfection. So guys, that is my roundup. I hope that you enjoyed this ranking. Let me know what your #1 foundation was from January, whether it's a new one or it is a new one. I want to know all down in the comment section below, because you guys know I am a foundation junkie. And so if there is a foundation to be had, I want to have it. And are y'all ready for more complexion? Because I am. So stay tuned tomorrow because I am comparing, y'all ready for this? The LYS new Triple Fix Serum Concealer to the KVD Good Apple Concealer. Ooh, this is gonna be good. So that video will be up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. That is the concealer that I'm wearing under my eyes. I already told you foundations, I already told you concealers and powders. Oh, Kosas Cloud Set in the shade Comfy. On my eyes, I have Color Fix by Danessa Myricks. This is the shade Valentine and it's matte. I topped Valentine with a glaze shade called Cupcake, and then I topped Cupcake with the glaze shade called Kaleidoscope. On the lips, I have Valentine topped with Kaleidoscope, and then on the cheeks, I put down the Cream Contour Balm from Danessa. It's somewhere, oh here it is. Shade Medium 3, I put that down first, and then I put on Valentine as the blush, and then I put the foundations on top. and brows and just mascara. That's on the face. So all of that will be listed down below. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have not subscribed, come on and subscribe. Join the Glam Girl Squad. We'd love to have you. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.